Good afternoon, and I am so happy to introduce and welcome Jessica Galea to Yachting USA podcast.
Thank you so much for welcoming
Jessica
me.
came over from Malta. You're with a law firm, Dingli Dingli,
Yes,
and you live in an interesting space over there because through the law firm, you are also loosely associated with your work with the Malta flag.
Yeah.
We're talking again with flag, and it's interesting how that comes into yachting and the importance of having a good flag representation or registration with flag in your yachting. So first of all, welcome to South Florida. Don't you love our winters?
it's just fantastic. I'm loving it, really.
Yes,
Really beautiful.
we're so blessed with this weather right now. This is a spectacular day, and it's nice to be here on the docks and enjoying this Palm Beach International Boat Show. And this is an international boat show. I found it interesting. Your entrance into this career goes back to what, you were 17 years old when you came into the law firm and worked as an intern or basically an assistant of some level. Talk to us about how
Yeah.
you got started, because I think it's an amazing story.
Kevin Dingley, who is one of the founders of our law firm, bumped into me. It was summertime, I remember, and I was in my first year of law school in Malta. I attended the University of Malta's law course, and he said, Jessica, I've known Kevin all my life, and he said, I know you're taking the law course, and we really need some help in the summer months, and why didn't you just come to give us a hand as an intern, and you could see the way the law firm works, and at the same time, we really could use your help with the helping hand, because we are always short-staffed in summer, and in the process, you'll be learning. And I said, wow, what an opportunity. I thank you, Kevin. When can I start? He said, you can start tomorrow. And
Wow, what an opportunity.
And it was my first summer job, which was law-related. And I also worked in a clothes shop at the time as a sales girl, part-time, my summer job as well. So
Imagine your choice and pathways you could take, right?
Yes. So I decided I'd go for the law firm summer job every day. And then I could keep my sales girl job on my Saturdays because it was something I had already committed to. And so I was doing both.
Oh, wow.
And I also was teaching a group of 40 children classical guitar at the same time. But I had a real jam-packed summer.
Wow.
Which
So
I
you're a
love.
musician on top of all of this.
Yes, I love music.
Love it.
But I just didn't want to lose the opportunity of being in a law firm and getting a taste of what it is to be a lawyer. Because I said, I'm in my first year, maybe when I'm exposed to what lawyers actually do, not only what I'm reading in law books and court cases and judgments and precedent and all the history of law, maybe it's not what I'd like to do after all. But so I said, this has to be the best opportunity for me. So first day, I met everybody. I loved this family feel within this firm.
Right.
Whoever I met, whatever position they were in, whether it was administrative, legal, on the accounting side, everyone welcomed me so much. And I automatically felt I was part of the family. I got to know how everyone took their coffee and tea. And that was how I started my day in the law firm. I was meeting every lawyer, serving a cup of coffee, tea, starting the day. And then
Wow.
I knew that the firm has different departments. So they have a commercial and maritime law department. They also do litigation in Malta. We advise on civil law matters as well. So it's quite, I would say, a traditional law firm, but with a specialty on maritime matters and commercial matters. So I was automatically drawn to the maritime side of because of so many interesting cases and clients that I was coming across while working under the supervision of Kevin Dingley, the founder, Tonio Grech, who heads the maritime litigation, and Suzanne Shaw, who heads the shipping department and who is a mentor. She is brilliant. She knows the subject so well. And I knew that maritime was a subject I loved. But at the time, as a young student, I had no clue what I'd be doing as a lawyer. I thought I'm going to be advising on marriages and contracts and going the civil law route. So I really didn't think I'd go for maritime.
You were at that stage where you didn't know what you didn't know.
I didn't know, exactly. So one of the jobs I was tasked with was visiting the maritime registry every day. And at the time in Malta, we had an office to deal with registration of ships and an office handling the radio matters. And they were on different sides of Valletta. But I didn't mind because my job was mornings. So I'd walk to one office for part of the morning and to the other office for the other part. And I was handling the registration papers. So the lawyers would give me papers for registration, mortgages, and things like that. And walk to one, work and follow the process for the registration of a vessel. We do shipping as well, and which now has branched into yachting as well. And I'd then go to the radio department to collect all the radio documents. And very proudly, I'd walk back to the office with all the important certificates in hand and complete the file for the lawyer who was waiting for those documents.
And let me paint a little bit of picture too. I've been to Malta and I've been to Valletta, and it is a historic classical city. It's such a beautiful, beautiful place. It's waterfront. It's got history. It's got architecture.
We are really blessed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place in the world. It really is.
Thank you. No, I love Malta, and we are blessed to be surrounded by our beautiful sea. I don't know what would be without the sea. And that's what I've grown up by the sea, and so I'm drawn to the sea. Then what's the beauty about now my job is that I am working on ships and yachts.
Yeah, this won't surprise anybody. It was there. I managed to get myself into the water and do a couple nice deep dives on the south end of the island onto a couple shipwrecks you have there. And the ocean is beautiful blue, crystal clear.
Yes.
And I was amazed at just, it felt Caribbean in just the feel of the ocean. A little colder than the Caribbean, but other than that, lovely.
Malta is a super maritime yachting destination, and not many know about that. People think we're just a dot in the Mediterranean and there's nothing to see. But once you are there with your boat, you really know and discover so much history. It's a wonderful destination, and you can see it in 3 to 5 days and have a lovely holiday aboard a boat. So I really recommend it to anybody, anytime. But working within this law firm didn't mean only just registration of ships and paperwork related to registration of a boat under the Malta flag. The advice also extended to legal advice. So if there was any maritime litigation, so I was also following cases in court, which is what we do as well. We also assist crew whenever there's other issues arising. We support ship financiers. So we also advise on contracts where the ship will be flying the Malta flag and they require security under the Malta flag for the financing. There's so much that surrounds buying a ship or a yacht. That's the beauty about our firm, is that we could help the owner or the client, whoever it is, from the beginning to the end of their transaction. It's not only the purchase of the boat, but it would be then seeing them through the life of the existence of that boat in the ownership of their company, and seeing through the sale then and then closing the company. So we would offer support throughout the life of the ownership.
I always say that the yachting industry is a relationship-based industry.
Yes,
and that's exactly what you're describing. A wonderful relationship with the owner in the operation of the vessel. I assume you're also working with yacht management companies and others
all the time.
Too.
Yes, we do really support each other because we believe in efficiency. So we always work with efficient partners to make sure we give a good end product. We, of course, promote Malta flag because that's our country, and Malta is a top quality flag for ships and yachts. But we also support other jurisdictions, and we work very well with the very famous and well-known international jurisdictions. Kevin Dingli, the founder of our firm, is also the deputy registrar for Belize ships and Jamaica ships.
Okay.
So we can register Belize and Jamaica yachts in-house and ships too.
Wow,
and support also with financing and registration of security under those flags. Besides then, outsourcing support for other flags if it's not one of the three I mentioned, Malta, Belize, and Jamaica. And the beauty, say again, is the variety in the subjects we do and the people we meet. There's always.
Very diverse, right?
It's so diverse, and no day is a boring day at all.
So as I understand it, you finished your law degree while you're working.
Yes.
And in the years you've been there, you've managed to become partner in the firm.
Yes, with effect from January this year, I've become a partner in the firm, and I'm really honored about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
I feel I've grown with the firm. It's been really nice to see, looking back at the years when I was a student in 2003 onwards. So
Right.
until 2009, I was just a student and really learning, and I'm still learning every single day, even if I'm a partner today, because there's always something to learn. The law is always changing, life is always. But the amazing support I've received from this firm too, because I've also become a mother and a wife during this process.
Congratulations. That's a lot, right?
Yes, of course, because this is where the support at work is so important. And that's why then I believe in giving back what we really, all of us at our firm, all the partners, all the associates, we really feel like a family, because the support we receive is something. Just to give you an example, when I had my 2 children, the firm offered a babysitting service to help me come back to work soon after my maternity leave. And while I was working, I knew my children were within the office being looked after by a babysitter, taking them around Valletta, enjoying some fresh air. I knew I could be back at my office. And this is a service that the office offers not only women, but also the males.
Wow.
So it's something
that's some
that
nice society.
has been fantastic. Yeah. So that kept me going. So I never
takes the
stopped
stress
working.
levels down, doesn't it?
It did. And I never
smart.
stopped working because of this. It's just, I've been able to continue my career, continue learning, and still have flexibility and be able to continue working from home if I need to. And so the support, and we're a team. That is what I love mostly.
There. You have to be, because maritime law is complex, multifaceted discipline. And it's different. Ships and yachts and all of that are, because they don't stay place, they move. They start here and they end up there, and then they go over there.
That's it.
And so every place you go, laws change. I know just between Italy and France, there's changes and things you have to know about whether you're in charter or private, whatever that looks like. So to have an organization that can backstop you when you're planning these itineraries, or you have a crew issue in a foreign location that you have to try to resolve.
Yes. And it's varied. We also know that we want to give an efficient service. So we, as I mentioned, we work with reliable partners all over the world. In Europe, so if we're talking about a ship or a yacht that moves, we are in touch with people all over where the boat is passing. So it's a yacht, say, and the owner is our client, and they need support because they're going to be based in the south of France or Italy or Greece. We would have a collaboration with our partners, our correspondents, say, in those jurisdictions, to make sure that our client is looked after wherever they go, with us overseeing the whole process. So it makes it easier for the owner, especially a first-time owner. And we want to make sure we also guide them with the crew employment, and to make sure they have contracts in place with their crew, whether they are private or commercial yachts.
And Jessica, you just touched on something I think is so important. First-time owners, when they come into this industry, they absolutely don't know what they don't know by and large. And it can be so confusing and frustrating. And when we talk about high net worth individuals that exist in the world actually participate in yachting, it's a small piece of the total demographic of those who could potentially afford to be in yachting. And so when an individual comes in and invests is maybe not the right word, but spends millions and millions of euros to buy and own and operate a yacht, and then is just hit with so many confusing rules and regulations and crew, and at some point in time, unless there are organizations and people that are willing to take them by the hand and walk them carefully and help them understand, there's a concept of one and done. They buy the first one, it's never again. I'll charter a boat maybe, but we want to try to avoid that. We want them to stay in the game and have a good experience and do it again and grow up and build and buy bigger and more yachts. So your role is very important in that.
So not only are we lawyers, but we are not commercial advisors. I always say this, but we do support owners in guiding them to know the whole picture. So it's not only fun, you're setting up a company, you're going to buy your yacht, register it under the flag of your choice. it's not only that. There are lots of requirements, obligations, and that are not one-off, they are ongoing. So I find sometimes that potential owners, prospective owners come to us and say, so I've seen this boat, I'd love it. I just tell me, what do I have to do? What do I need? Let's get going. I want to be on the boat next month. And we say, look, first of all, what do you want? And we need to find out what the owner wants. Sometimes they are not really ready to be owners. You mentioned some owners don't have a very good experience on their first experience.
That's right.
Sometimes they're not ready to be owners. And I'd say, look, I think you should charter a yacht this summer and then think about it. I know you found the boat, but maybe it's not the right thing for you, because I don't think you are ready to commit to all the obligations that come with being a yacht owner. It's not all about the fun. You need to know that there are responsibilities, obligations, and it's not only about the flag state, because you need to have nationality for your boat for sailing in international waters. But then when you are in different states, port states or coastal states, you need to respect the laws in those jurisdictions. So it's not about saying, oh, I'm in Capri today, tomorrow I'm going to be heading to the south of France. Have you prepared for that voyage? Do you know what is required of you as an owner before? Well, then I'm going to spend the winter in the Caribbean. You need to think in advance, and you can't. You do get a thrill out of buying a yacht. Yes, there's a lot of emotion involved.
Oh, yeah.
But you really have to be careful to plan properly and not be rushed, because that is where mistakes happen, and then you won't appreciate and disappointments.
Or it gets expensive. It's already expensive, but then it gets more expensive.
It is expensive. And at the same time, I could be losing work because I might be discouraging somebody from buying a yacht, and I'd encourage them to charter for that year. But I'd rather they get a taste. And we are an ethical firm, and we do things. They say we'd rather be honest with everybody who approaches us and give them a really clear picture.
Right.
Even sometimes when it's something simple like compiling due diligence, I want them to know what they need to give us from day one. If they don't feel comfortable to share this information, then really, I don't think, I'd rather be honest with them and say, thank you for approaching us, but I don't think this can work. And I'd rather do that than say, yes, we can do everything, take them on, and then disappoint them later.
No, that's very professional. It's very ethical. And I think I applaud that, because if everybody in this industry treated clients that way, it would be a slightly different industry, and I think it would be a better industry. Yeah.
Yes.
So you and I share something in common in that we both know Rhea Rao, who produces my show, Yachting USA and Yachting Unplugged. And you've got, I think, something special to announce today, don't you?
Yes, it's really exciting, actually. And I can't believe that Rhea and I had this chat, which led to this idea, which I think is really exciting for me and her at the same time, because she has all these ideas, which we will definitely bring now to the screen through this podcast that we are launching.
Right.
It's going to be called Maritime Legal with Jessica Galea. And every month or two, let's say, we'll have at least an episode every 2 months, if not every month. We'll be discussing a different maritime legal topic.
I love it. I love it. First of all, I love the fact that your voice and your experience is going to be brought out to the world, and you have this opportunity, this platform to have these conversations. And I'm speaking from a perspective of doing this now for just over a year. And I think you are my 65th episode.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's cool, huh?
Really cool.
There's nothing quite like that opportunity, that privilege of bringing our guests into our world and sharing them with the maritime world. There's so many stories to be told. And here you are bringing to our channel the legal vision coming out of the European Union, in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, surrounded by so much. And I just think this is so exciting. I can't wait to hear your first episode. And I'm just thrilled for you, and I'm thrilled for Rhea and the Yachting International Radio Network. And it's great to be on a program and a platform like this that's growing and growing.
Thank you so much, Rick, for your time. It's been really nice to chat with you here.
Oh, Jessica, listen, this is fun. I'm excited to think that one of these days I'll be over in beautiful island nation of Malta and sitting behind your camera and microphone and having another conversation.
I hope so.
Oh, we will make that happen.
Please let me know when you plan to come, because I'll make sure that you also have time to see the beautiful spots there are in Malta, not only at sea, but on. Because I understand you haven't had time to see Malta
not much,
on land.
Not much.
So
I was on your island for
mostly.
4 days, actually. I had a friend of mine who was captaining a large motor yacht, and I had the opportunity to come and visit with him. There was some other business opportunities, and I also like to put a little what I call Rick time into my travels. So I made sure I had a day put aside for some diving. And I didn't know what to expect when I got to Malta. And honestly, it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was. And historic, I'm a huge student of history. And when you understand the Knights Templar experiences there, what they brought to the table, and where Malta lived in the world of the Crusades and going way back in history, and then even into World War II, and how fundamentally it was important to the Allies during the war to have that spot in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. It's just a cool place. The people that I met there were wonderful. It was just like, wow, what a gem right off the African coast. And you just wouldn't know it, right?
Yes. And you can get to Sicily in an hour by ferry.
By ferry, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you get that Italian culture and ambiance and food.
Very much.
The food's pretty good.
Yes. And most Maltese understand Italian too.
Yeah.
There was a time where we just had Italian TV. As a child, I didn't have English TV until the age of 10. So I automatically understand Italian because of that.
Perfect.
And I'm grateful for that because I love to travel to Italy on any opportunity. I can communicate easily. And we also have our own language, which is it's a mix. It's Anglo-Saxon, Semitic. It's a bit Arabic too.
Wow.
So really, it's quite a unique nation.
It surely is. It surely is. Thanks for coming to our somewhat unique melting pot nation of the United States in this beautiful city of West Palm Beach International Boat Show. I'm just so excited to be welcoming you onto our network. This is so fun. I'm honored to be the one to do it.
Thank you so much, Rick, and Terea also, who's been so successful in this field, and she's just a superwoman. So thank you, especially Terea.
She's a rock star.
A rock star. Thank you,
Jessica.
Rick. Nice to have met you
so much.
for your time once
Absolutely.
again.
And until the next time, I'm out of here.